Firstly, I'll acknowledge the traditional elders of the lands on which we live and work and play, and pay my respects to elders past, present and future, and ask that they continue to guide us in this work.
I'm reading here in the Plenty Progress report a commitment in the actions for the Covenanting Working Group to a clear ongoing priority for First Peoples to shape their own voice and journey. And the project that you're both involved in is an answer to that. So Kym, first of all, tell me a little bit about what the working group is trying to achieve and then how Jo became involved.
So the project came about through my desire to lift up the voices of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander peoples throughout the church. I sort of started thinking about, how do we do this? How do we bring stories forward? And I immediately went to thinking about my relationship with Jo and the work that she does and how we came together. What was our story of coming together? So I'll let Jo tell a little bit about that.
It was a really nice kind of reunion for myself and Kym because I didn't grow up with a family, and I started my career with the archives, State Library and photography, and purely by accident just kept going through that process and being involved with community and projects and recording, people and place. But I guess by chance I have this book. This is I know a few words talking about Aboriginal language, and it was a book led by Kym's mother, my auntie Bertha, and Nana Mace, who was my grandmother. So, but at the time I was involved, I had no idea who my family were, and by the end of the printing of the publication and the launch, they'd kind of worked out where I fitted into the bigger community and family. And Nana, who I called Nana at the time, rang my adopted mum and said, "I'm really happy I've just heard that Joanne's my grandmother." And it was a really beautiful moment.
Yeah, so you've got to think about,
1994.
Yeah, and this was a group of our elders from Cherbourg recognising that we'd lost a lot of custom and culture and worried for the future of children and what they could do to try and lift up culture and make it important and have a piece of time and try and draw in, younger people as well to say, okay, this is really important. You need to do this work. When the church starts doing a project like this about storytelling, you're not just talking about any one family at any one particular time. When one person's talking, they might be talking about, another 20. So, so that's what's really important about this project, and it's through the power of storytelling that, it opens up all the doors. And I think it was really lovely that Jo got to be at the gathering the other day. We had a gathering a couple of weeks ago now, a month ago now, in Townsville with the members of the UAICC, Annie Roberta, Uncle Roy and Annie Flo as being the key elders in the space. So Jo coming into this, confidently walking into this space of being able to, how do I progress the project? How do I honour the project? So having her sit in space with those old people over 3 days, was really important because she got to know where they were at in their journeys.
Tell me what you've been doing.
It was really fitting that I spent the 3 days building that relationship, and then for the elders to work out who I was and where I fit into the picture, because when you're a photographer, or now I'm doing the film and recording and stuff, that they just want to know what you're going to do with all this really personal material. I'm also learning too, all the different areas of the community, including the church, and where I wasn't raised in the church, but I'm really conscious of the elders that I did meet in my early 20s, like Nana and Auntie Bertha, and that were really, really honourable of the church and its role in the community. And then meeting Uncle Roy and Auntie Roberta in Townsville and their respect for the church. And that's what I love about documenting, is everyone will have diverse voices and stories.
What are your hopes for the next steps for these stories?
I think since Townsville, we're really conscious of the the generational response. This is just
yeah, absolutely.
And the different communities. Like, I know some people weren't comfortable being recorded off their own country, so we're going to go to their country and do that, which makes total sense. I'm really excited for that.
So I think this storytelling project has the ability to draw people together. So my hope, and that's what I've said in a lot of the meetings that we've had and a lot of the times when we talk to people, is, you know, my hope that these stories can be up in a space where someone, you know, a child perhaps sitting in out-of-home care could use their phone. We all have phones. We all, you know, and just link into the page and click on one of the elders' stories and say, I hear that. Really looking forward to getting some younger voices as well in this as well. So yeah, and it's fun. It's fun to hear their voices, and there's often a lot of humour in the stories. That we're talking quite seriously now, but a lot of the stories have a lot of humour as well.